Hello from Tridex 2025. I'm here together with Dr. Macktar Seck, Chief of Technology and Innovations at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Me too, thank you.
Yesterday we participated in a panel where we talked about connectivity as the foundation of the global digital economy or the new global digital economy. So how can we translate it into action in Africa, and how can we overcome our connectivity usage gaps in Africa?
You are fully right, because in Africa we are facing several challenges on connectivity. As of today, 38% only of the continent are connected. And we have also around 500 billion people without any legal form of ID. We have also issue of gender gap, gender digital divide. We have our rural area less connected, 23%. We have also issue of digital skills. We have also issue of energy. Around 600 million of our population are not connected to the electricity. What we need to build the infrastructure, because as you say here, infrastructure, the connectivity is a backbone of the digital economy. And we need to build this infrastructure. The effort doesn't mean only this submarine cable. We need also to build this data center. Because if you know, according to several studies, statistics, only 2% of the data produced in Africa are hosted here. And 80% are outside the continent. We need to build this infrastructure. But building infrastructure doesn't mean the government will build it alone. We need to involve private sector to come together with the government to build this infrastructure. But why we can attract this private sector, putting in place right regulatory framework, and also sound policy, and this enabling environment to attract more private sector into invest in the development of the infrastructure in the continent. And also we needed to write to awareness to the government that building infrastructure, developing connectivity will increase productivity for the country. Why? How they can increase productivity? I can give you one simple example, one study ECA just released on how to better connect, optimize the taxation on the ICT sector. We have seen research in 52 African countries done by ECA. If we optimize this tax, ICT tax, VAT or excess duty, we'll see a growth of the GDP, an increase of the broadband penetration, an increase of the job creation, and also an increase of the tax basis across all sectors of the continent, of each country.
So let me just come back quickly to the beginning. You said something very interesting. We talk a lot about connectivity and digital infrastructure, but you shared a big number of people not even having access to electricity. So without electricity, there will be no connectivity.
Sure.
So how can we solve this issue of basic access to electricity?
Basic access to electricity, you have several initiatives done by UNECA to work at the regional level. Energy powerful at the sub-regional office, at the sub-regional level. Because we have some country have more electricity than others. When they join their force, they can sort it out the issue of electricity. We have a good example in West Africa, where Nigeria can sell electricity to other country. And we can sort it out the issue of electricity by this powerful, regional powerful energy. We have a good case in West Africa, good case in Eastern Africa, Southern Africa. It is a way we can now sort it out the issue of energy in the continent. And also we have to use this as an alternative in energy. Solar energy, wind energy, hydrogen energy, nuclear, even nuclear energy, we can use it. It is a way we can sort out the issue of energy in Africa.
So everything starts with electricity, if we look at it.
Yeah, everything starts with electricity, but because if you want to do AI, if you don't have electricity, you can't do it.
You have no AI data center.
No, yeah, we need this electricity, but we need to have a clear strategy on developing energy In parallel, we develop this connectivity, infrastructure, digital skills, access to market, everything, development of startup in order for African countries to take the benefits of this information society. But because by 2030, the digital economy would represent almost 80 or 9% of the African GDP.
As diverse as the cultures are, the continent is. If you look at it from a geographical perspective, we have a lot of rural, semi-rural areas where it's very difficult to develop fiber connectivity, other kind of connectivities. So how can we make sure not leaving anyone behind in this digital revolution we see?
You know, we have the strategy in Africa. We have what call it this African free trade area. Yeah. We are going to work together to implement this African free trade area by harmonizing all the rules and regulation in the continent on infrastructure sharing. How to harmonize this cross-border payment system across the continent. How we can develop together the issue of infrastructure. How we can sort it out the issue on cyber security. We don't talk about cyber, but it's very important. And at the regional level, if we come together to work, not as a building block, we can sort out this issue of infrastructure, issue of connectivity, issue of access to market, issue of well-being.
So optimistic outlook for the continent.
Yes, of course. Yeah, because we have a young generation, and by 2050, Africa young generation will represent 40% of the world population youth. And it is a good demographic dividend. We can tap on it. Of course, we need to build their capacity, to put the regulatory framework, to build the infrastructure, also to create the market.
Perfect. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the insights. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
That was Tech Africa News from TriTex 2025. You can find more on techafricanews.com.